Good morning, class 9, and welcome to the class of geography. In today's class, we'll be starting with a new chapter, that is geomorphic processes and landforms of the earth. So, before we start the class, please get ready with your books and turn to page number 52. So, what exactly is geomorphic process or geomorphology? So the simple definition of it is the scientific study of landforms and the processes that shape them. Now we know that there are several kinds of landforms on the surface of the earth. So geomorphic process or geomorphology is the study of how these landforms are formed. What is the process or what is the procedure through which these landforms are formed? Landforms such as the main landforms are mountains, plateaus, and plains. So you can write this simple definition down that geomorphic process is the scientific study of landforms and the processes that shape them. This is the most simple definition of geomorphic processes. Now, these are some of the landforms which are formed due to geomorphic processes. Observe them. Now, let's come to the processes of geomorphology. What are the processes? First of all, there are two processes, that is terrestrial and extraterrestrial processes. So this part is not in your syllabus. So we'll study only terrestrial processes. Now what are terrestrial processes? The natural forces that take place on the earth's surface and which are responsible for forming or changing landforms are called terrestrial processes. So when you have something to compare with, like terrestrial and extraterrestrial, so extraterrestrial processes means the activities such as fall of meteorite from space, they fall on earth's surface, and then because of that meteorite, landforms begin to form or change. So it means that what will be terrestrial process? The landforms which are formed by the process of earth, by the natural forces, by the what natural forces which take place on the earth's surface. That is called terrestrial process. All the forces, all the natural forces, all the heat, the gravity, the rotation of the earth, by all these forces, the landforms which are formed are called terrestrial geomorphic process. Okay, you can copy this down. I've whatever is in your book, I have read all of it and written it in simple words for you so that you can learn easily. Now, terrestrial processes are also of two types: endogenetic processes and exogenetic processes, or endogenous and exogenous. Now, what is endogenous process? The geomorphic processes that are driven by the forces emanating from deep below the Earth's surface are geomorphic processes. Now, whatever landforms that are formed on Earth's surface, if they are formed from the activities that take place inside of the Earth's surface, those landforms are called those processes are called endogenous processes. For example, there we know that below the Earth's crust there is mantle, there is lava. Now, because of lava, we have many mountains. Now, those mountains which are formed because of the activities going on inside of the Earth's activity, inside of the Earth's surface, are called endogenous processes. Okay, emanating means forming, or emanating means to taking place inside the Earth's surface. Now these are called endogenic or endogenous processes. Now, another simple definition of this: the energy emanating from within the earth is the main force behind endogenic geomorphic processes. So, the main source of geomorphic process is the energy that is formed within the earth's surface. Okay, how is it caused? The ultimate source of energy behind forces that drive endogenetic movement in the earth's internal in the is earth's internal heat. Okay, so the internal of the earth is very heated, as we know. It is very hot, and because of the heat, what happens, it affects the earth's crust or the surface of the earth, and because of that, what happens, landforms begin to form. Now we have a lot to discuss under endogenous processes, but I have kept that for a later class when you'll understand it more nicely. So we won't go deeply into what is endogenous and what is exogenous, just to give you an overall view that endogenous process is the process that take place inside of the earth's surface and result in making of landforms. Okay, next we have what are exogenous processes. So the geomorphic processes on the earth's crust or its surface, brought down by the forces emanating from above the earth's surface. Right, so it is opposite of endogenic process. What happens, the natural forces on the surface of the earth, such as what, such as wind, water, the heat of the sun, not the heat of the interior of the earth, the heat of the sun. Because of these forces, when the landforms are formed, the process of making such landforms are called exogenous processes. Now we know that because of wind and water are two very powerful forces. Because of these powerful natural forces, what happens? Landforms are formed. Now we'll see later in the chapter that exactly how are the landforms formed. But just to get an overall view that how is it caused, you can write this definition and these points down. Exogenetic processes are a direct result of the sun's heat. Mostly they are formed by the heat of the sun. Now, do not underestimate the heat of the sun, because of heat, what happens? Things expand. Right? In the daytime, what happens, due to excessive heat, rocks or big rocks, they expand, and in the night they shrink or become small again. Now this actually happens. Now we may not notice the change, but it is enough for the rocks to break. When If every time they expand and compress and expand and compress, what will happen, one day they'll break themselves. Because of this breaking and compression and expansion, what happens, the landforms of the earth, they change or form. So the main source is of our exogenous processes is the forces emanating from above earth's surface, not inside earth's surface. Other forces are wind and precipitation, and sun's heat along with weather patterns are responsible for stress induced earth materials, giving rise to exogenic movements. Now what happens with sun's heat along with the weather patterns? Just as I told you, if it is winter, then what happens, in the daytime it is very hot, however in the night time it becomes very cool, and therefore the rocks or the landforms, they again shrink. So these landforms, these with the help of these natural forces, the landforms are formed. Now, what are the landforms that are formed? Basically, there are three types of landforms that the earth is divided into: mountains, plateau, and plains. You can copy this down, and more than this, you don't have to learn anything. Landforms that usually rise above 1,000 meters above sea level are called mountains. Landforms that are 300 meters but less than 1,000 meters means any landform the height of which is above 1,000 meter is called mountain, and below 1,000 meter but above 300 meters are called hills. Now, how are mountains formed? Mountains are mainly formed, now mountains are huge, they are huge landforms, therefore they are formed by large scale movement of the earth's crust. Right, the Earth's crust means the tectonic plates which lie beneath the Earth's crust. Now, these tectonic plates, what happens? They collide with each other, and after many years of collision, after hundreds and hundreds of years of moving of these tectonic plates, what happens? Mountains are finally formed. Just as you can see here, suppose that these are two plates over here, they compress year by year after year, they come close to each other, they compress, and when they come close to each other, the landform above the surface, what happens, it starts to compress. If you can see here, this land was here. Slowly, when the plates started colliding with each other, the land started rising over here. Finally, when they came too close, what happens, the land in the middle elevated. Now, this elevation caused the formation of mountains. Now, in the next class, we'll be discussing the different types of mountains, and the how they are formed, and the causes and characteristics. We'll keep it till here today. So, if you have any doubts, then please email me into this email ID. And thank you for today. That's all.